Hello, I am Daisy, your hostess, and you are in my tarot playlist. We are trucking along on this new year. Oh my goodness, we're already here at week 3, and in this video I will be doing a comprehensive collective reading for the week of January 23rd through the 29th. Wow, oh my goodness. Have you kept up with your New Year's resolutions? Shh, don't tell me, don't tell me. We're probably going to find out. In this video, we will take a look at different areas that may serve as tools to help us get a little better grip of the week ahead. We will start off with the Lunar Influence. This is where we take a look at where the moon is positioned during the week, and we'll see how that positioning in which constellation it will affect us here on Earth. And that will be followed by a 7-day outlook. I will go ahead and interpret a card for each day of the week from Monday through Sunday. And then that is followed by angels and demons. We will take a look at which will you be drawn to. What is the influence? Polar opposites. What will be the whispers in your ears that you will be drawn to? And then we will do the elements for each of our zodiacs, our fire signs, our water signs, our earth signs, and our air signs. That way we get a little bit of everything in there. And I'll interpret a card for each one of the elements, followed by a numerology influence, where I will actually draw a random number and see what that vibration is as we dive into a little bit of the aspects of numerology and how the vibrations of numbers affect us. And then I will answer a community question. So if you are interested in having a mini reading here on the channel, just go ahead and enter your question in this post here, and I will bring it forward in one of our next sessions. So we'll go ahead through that, and then we will close out our session with a meditation, a 1-minute meditation reflection, and where we get to slow down, observe our breath, and just kind of come into our space. Sometimes we're so caught up in the rush of doing things that we forget to honor ourselves and the journey, right? And then we will close it out with an affirmation that I will offer out for all of us so that we can use it as a tool till we're empowered. If we feel a little bit down, we can pull this affirmation out. We can type it in our phones and say it in the morning, say it in the afternoon, say it in the evenings. Rewire ourselves to a positive outlook, because how we think does affect the future outcomes of the next moment. As we stay focused on the good, we will draw more good into our lives. So are you ready? Let's get started. In this section, we will now take a look at the lunar influence for the week of the 23rd. That's Monday the 23rd through Sunday the 29th. And as I've mentioned, the moon has a great influence on all of us here on Earth, whether it's us, the beings, the birds, the waters. We are affected and influenced by its pull and its radiance. It's almost as if when it's moving through the different constellations, it's serving as a magnifying glass, amplifying the different energies and vibrations afforded to each one of those constellations. So we will take a look at what influences the moon will have for us during this week through the constellations it will be traveling through, as it will remain in each of these constellations for approximately two days or so. On January 23rd, that's Monday, the moon will be waxing crescent in Aquarius. This is allowing us to have this sense of emotional freedom. So it will be interesting how we are going to respond as we move into Monday. We may feel a strong urge for helping others, for volunteering, or being involved in charitable activities. This sense of newness is drawing us on Monday, and it is the free thinking energy of Aquarius, who really is a rebel when it comes to routine. So don't make it too obvious if you find yourself losing interest in a project on Monday or a conversation that might just have you bored to your wits. Then right about that 17:36 hour, the moon moves into Pisces, and that's mountain time. So there will be that shift of energy closer towards the afternoon. So then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we will have the waxing crescent moon in Pisces. These next couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday, will spin you into a world of imagination and creativity. So definitely, if you're a Pisces, you're already there. Otherwise, everyone else was getting on the wagon. If you're embarking on new projects at work or in your field of interest, well, guess what? The writer's block has been lifted, so to speak. This energy, this Pisces energy, leads us into a fresh, fortuitous, and creative lunar cycle. It will benefit many of us to say yes to the opportunities that are showing up on Tuesday and Wednesday. So one of the good things to do is to ask yourself, what simple step today can I take to be led to the next and the next? It's about those baby steps. And then trust your intuition, knowing that a response tailored specifically to you will present itself. Then on Wednesday, January 25, right about that 1848 hour, the moon transitions itself into Aries. So if you find that your energy gets a little bit pushy, a little bit angsty, you can blame it on Aries. So January 26, Thursday, and January 27, Friday, the moon will be waxing crescent in Aries. Moon in Aries lights up fire under our feet, and it wakes us up to what we could not see as a doable thing. All of a sudden, we see the opportunity. We see the impossible become possible. So come Thursday and Friday, we are stripped away from all our complications, from all our hangups, and also, guess what? Possibly from our own patience. Having said that, keep in mind that patience is a virtue. Everything in moderation, and a little patience will go a long way. Don't become too ill-tempered because things are not happening fast enough. So that's the big hint. If you are an Aries or one of our fire signs, make sure to keep your temper at bay, because you know what? Aries isn't having it any other way if it isn't their way. So just keep it down a little bit, and all my Aries out there, you'll get through. And for all the rest of us, we'll be like, where did this come from? But it's good to understand your nature and to also keep the little beast down before you let it out. I trample on other people's feelings and not like it after this moon phase is over. So the moon Aries awakens our spirit, and for a minute, meaning the times that the moon is in Aries, we are expressing, and we are okay to express our authentic self, to be who we truly are. And we tend to be a little bit unapologetic about it, and you know what? It should be that way. So stay alert and try to be compassionate, as tempers and passions may run hot during the moon in Aries. Also, this moon cycling through Aries is urging all of us to gather the wisdom that we learned in the new moon phase and communicate your intention to move forward. So this is very powerful time to begin to now move your projects, move your dreams, move your relationships a little further along, so as to be an author of your own destiny. The moon continues its transit through the heavens, and on January 28, we begin to see our first quarter moon shifting in Taurus on Saturday. The weekend might find us feeling a desire for more comfort, more security, and in the next few days, perhaps we started getting this energy on Friday. Shift was taking place, thinking about creating extra source of income. The moon in Taurus will draw our attention and our awareness that the more you share with others, the more you will get. And this Taurus energy moves you away from thoughts of fear and seeing that money and resources are simply a manifestation of our life force. We may find ourselves evaluating that the time and effort that we're putting into things is the equivalent of the things that we're surrounding ourselves with. Our labor is turned into cash. The cash is turned into the things that we buy. And as you allow the fear energy to flow out, you're able to make room for thoughts of abundance and opportunity. Take the weekend to indulge in the sheer pleasure of being right here where you find yourself now. Moving on to Sunday, January 29th, the moon is waxing gibbous in Taurus. The term gibbous refers to the fact that the sun's light covers more than half of the visible surface of the moon. So a waxing gibbous moon is one where the moon's illumination coverage is increasing from half moon to full moon. So Sunday is a perfect day to ground yourself in the literal sense. It's up to you to find the earth connection. Walk barefoot, touch the leaves or your house plants or garden plants. Feel and listen through your connection, whether it's through your feet or your hands. Feel the earth, feel the trees, feel the plants. Allow this beautiful energy to heal and uplift you. Taurus energy expands through the moon, making connections to Venus herself. And this offers the opportunity to experience a certain amount of ease to anything that you apply yourself to towards the seeds that are being planted or the fruits that you're picking. And consider your investments and make wise use of the resources you already have. This is the energy of Taurus affecting our mood on Sunday as we settle in and also as we think of comforts, think of lifestyle, and prepare for the week ahead. In this section, we will take a look at the week ahead. I will draw one card for each day of the week and I will interpret it. So let's see what it will reveal. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right. Monday. We have the Seven of Wands. With the Seven of Wands, in this position, when it's right side up, we see a person that's forging on no matter what these obstacles are and that's presented. And there's a sense of movement, a sense of some type of uneven ground. So there's a lot of things that we can pull just from seeing that. But then in general, when we look at the number 7, it takes the vibration of that collective consciousness, that lucky 7. It is a number that resonates with faith and spirituality. The lucky 7 with our intuition. So what's going on when this 7 is upside down? What is it trying to tell us? As we're seeing that there are some obstacles in the way, are we going to have some issues overcoming these obstacles? Are we not following our intuition? Are we not able to manifest our good fortune, our good luck? Interesting that we see that here. So in general, by looking at this, it seems that there's a situation on come Monday that might be a little bit heavy for us. Let's remember that the moon is transiting through Aquarius. Aquarius is about creativity and freedom. And in this card here, it is revealing that whatever obstacles we thought, whatever confrontation we had, whatever block we had, remember we talked about the writer's block, it's being removed. So this here, it's resonating with that same energy that's coming in through that lunar influence. Here revealing that whatever we have on Monday, it's a green light. We can move forward. We can be assured that the meeting is going to go with the flow. The projects are going to be fine. The things with our relationship are moving. We are feeling free to be authentic. We are feeling free to move forward and to follow our passions, to follow our dreams. So Monday is definitely showing in a very positive way. We move into Tuesday. Well, the theme of nights, but now with this upside down, it's a little bit different. So here we have right side up. And as I've mentioned in previous readings, to me, the nights represent the number 12. And the number 12, which is consisting of two numbers, the 1 and the 2. So it's got these blended attributes of the number 1, of those new beginnings, and the number 2 about balance, about adaptability, partnerships, and relationships. So we're getting a sneak peek that come Tuesday, and considering that the moon is moving into Pisces, we are dealing with water signs here. So as it showed up in reverse, what is saying here about the night? And if you're interested, go to my Learn Tarot playlist where I have a further explanation on how to interpret and read the Knight of Wands. So it could be that on Tuesday, there's a certain situation that we're feeling that which we want is not showing up as fast as we want it. Maybe, and we'll look at it in the area of love, career, and finances and see how it plays out to whichever may apply or resonate to you. As we see the knights usually are sent out. They go out into the kingdom and they go to fight for the king and the queen. Not only do they go out to, do the king's bidding, but also they bring back resources and information. So there may be a delay in some type of project. Could be a closing of a deal that you have. Could be an investment that you've laid out and you're waiting for it to return, but it's not showing up. So on Tuesday, there's a sense of frustration in this. And you might be angry at yourself because you feel like this should be happening much sooner, because maybe you have felt that everything was lined up, but there is something called divine timing. And so you have no power in the timing. All you can do is prepare for the arrival, prepare yourself even more for whatever it is that you want, in the sense of, when it's here, am I ready? Is everything laid out? Am I ready to take the next step when that opportunity shows up here? In the area of relationship, if this is for you and you are looking to understand what is happening in this relationship, there's a sense of frustration, maybe impatient because the other person that of love interest is not responding to you or not aligning with your values, does not see the future in it with you, and it's driving you crazy. Or it could be that the relationship is unstable and it's in rocky grounds because one of you is headstrong in what they want, or maybe they're not as headstrong, and so there is no commitment. This person is not ready to commit to this relationship, and that is creating some stress. If this is for those that have a career matter that they're looking to get more clarity in, it could be that when it comes to the career, maybe your pursuit of higher education, maybe it could be your business and your business prospects, could be that there is a lack of direction. It could be that you might feel that where you're at now is not reliable, or may not meet all your needs, or may not satisfy all what you are capable of, and you are feeling that this might not be the place for you, and you're ready to step on. Or maybe you feel that something is happening with the industry and you cannot rely on this job or this work or this project to get you through with the things that you've set for, and you might need to start looking in other places. And I'd like to add one more thing. In the relationship and also in the career, there could also mean that there is someone that is entering the picture that is very self-centered, very selfish, and it's causing some type of rift. Watch out for those confrontational situations in the relationships. Let's look at Wednesday. 21. Oh, and I want to go back to that number 12, because it's interesting because when you take the number 12, 1 plus 2, it takes you to 3, which talks about growth, and you feel like things are not growing, things are not moving forward. But then take a look at this. This is the same number, but now in a different position. This is 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. So now whatever happened on Tuesday, it looks like through the power of communication or emotions or some other interest would have injected itself to add to some type of, clarity. So that is really interesting, because now whatever issues was happening, it could be that they may have cleared out. With the lunar influence of Pisces, we see that momentum of communication happening. It could be that the lunar influence of Pisces is now blending in, opening up the heart, opening up the communication, opening up to showing the opportunities that are available. So what simple step today can I take to be led to the next and the next? And that was the question that Moon in Pisces was asking us. And as we see these opportunities and allow ourselves to flow and not just become owned by the emotion, but to use it in our favor, we begin to see things opening up for us. So Wednesday, things will begin to improve as far as whatever might have happened on Tuesday. And it's important as we take on a fresh day, not to bring the baggage of yesterday with us, because there's so many other factors that could have happened that could have improved the situation. Sometimes a little distance from the problem or the situation or the person heals a lot and clarifies a lot, because we can think a little bit of what's been happening. It's really about seeing ourselves in the grander picture. Instead of just being that's me, we see ourselves as part of the big picture. We can see the rhythm of life. We can see how things work together, the ups and the downs, and working with them and awakening to that potential. Come Wednesday, we see ourselves giving back, being a part of, integrating ourselves into whatever situation is arising, and not seeing it as a personal issue, but seeing as, you know what, there's a lot of things happening. And the good news with the world is that come Wednesday, projects that were stagnant are opening. Situations that were closed are opening. Doors that you thought had been closed for you are opening. So welcome whatever is showing up for you on Wednesday, because it is about being at the right place at the right time. And that is what this lunar cycle is bringing to you. Remember, the Pisces energy was asking you to ask yourself this question: what simple step today can I take to be led to the next and the next? And then the next thing to do is allow that part of you, that warm, fuzzy side of you, to take its place and trust the intuition, knowing that you will have the proper response for you. Thursday. Okay, Ace of Cups. Beautiful. So I like that we have one major arcana card, meaning that there could be a situation that is pivotal for us this week for our personal spiritual development. And it's interesting because part of Thursday, we blend in from Pisces, which is a water sign, and then we move into fire. So we will have some influence still on our day as we're transitioning into that Aries sign. We also receiving this message that it's time to let go of emotional baggage. There's a lot of new things coming into our lives. If we're looking at this from the romantic angle, from the love and relationship angle, and from the point of what are the cups representing? Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So it could be a situation or relationship involving any one of these three, where there is possibly a new relationship, a start of something new. And if it is not in romantic sense, it may be in partnerships or in dealing with business or groups of people. And this may mean that on Thursday, this will be an opportunity for you to open up to these new relationships. And I remember during the Lunar Influence, I mentioned the word opportunities, and it was coming in between these 2 days of Tuesday and Wednesday. So possibly a portal has opened up that will allow new opportunities, and it's up to you to receive what's coming into your life. It could be by form of a news, it could be form of a relationship, but definitely this is flowing into your life. And when it comes to work and work-related matters, whether it's your business, higher education, or your job that you're in, on Thursday, relations seem to be back at what I would say ground level, something that everyone can work with, because now things seem to have been cleared up, things are flowing, everybody seems to be in sync. And when it comes to our financial situation, it could be that a blessing is coming to many of you, a financial gain, an investment that's popping up for you, or possibly some type of money coming into your life in some way or other, unexpectedly, pleasantly. Friday. Oh, 2 major arcana so far. This is looking like an interesting week and interesting end of the month, as we have the Emperor showing up, the number 4. The number 4 has the vibration of foundations, patience, application, organization. We see this sense of groundedness and mastery and loyalty. So this Emperor sitting here in his throne, we could see a lot of power here. We could see a lot of symbols of wisdom. We could see a lot of strength in the rocky foundations, and also that there's this little kind of stream here. So there is a sense of control also over his emotions. And so with this, as we move forward on Friday, this energy is going to show up for us of that dedication, of trustworthy, of mastery, of sticking with our values and what it means for us and how good it is when we stay true to ourselves and our convictions. And that sense that you stood your ground will pay off for you. And interesting, if you remember from the lunar influence, come Friday, the moon is moving and shifting into Taurus later in the evening. So that energy is sneaking in here and asking us to ground ourselves. And we see all that earthy element here as well. You might find yourself, as you're looking for that security, or as you're thinking about, the resources that you have, also your financial situation, you are looking to your long-term goals. And it's okay to see into the future while we live in the present, but to look at our goals and to see where we want to go in the next couple of months and how we can plan to get there strategically. When it comes to love, a sense of stoicness in this relationship. Not much love is being expressed because everything is just kind of, we take it for what it is. It's important, to also express yourself. We don't see a lot of that happening because the water feature is very little bit here. So it will add to the relationship and to you to open yourself up and express your feeling, your heart, because you have a lot of strength in you, and maybe you want to cover it up because you don't want to get hurt. But in the end, you are very loved because of all these traits, and it's okay to let the other person know how much you love them, not just by being able to provide, but also verbally telling someone how much you love them. And then in the area of career, what we have here is that there's a possible thing that you might get promoted, that someone may look up to you for mentorship. Someone sees your strength and they see your discipline and they see that you're an asset to this organization and for yourself as you develop new skills, whether you go for more schooling or you get yourself involved in other work that allows you to be challenged. One thing for sure is that once you develop these skills, they give you more confidence and make you a person of demand. And when it comes to finances, slow and steady wins the race. It's about looking at what you have. It's about building up those foundations and strategizing a financial plan on how you can get to those financial goals in a way that will allow you to afford and improve the lifestyle that you have been enjoying. Saturday. Okay, let's look at it this way. That's the 10 of Pentacles. We talked about the number 10. And in the timeline of the numbers from 1 to 9, those are the basic digits. And then everything past that is really just a combination of the same numbers of those digits. So the next number after 9 is 10. And that's a complete journey. We see a whole sense of evolution. So the vibration of the number 10, which of course has the energies of the 1 and the 0, the beginnings, the projects, the new seed, and also at the same time that eternal now in together as it's brought into that number 10. That dynamic then is all about leadership, manifesting, independence, and that energy is what's flowing here with the number 10. But when we see this upside down, what do we see? We don't see that there's independence. We feel like things are not manifesting. We feel like we haven't mastered this. And it's interesting because in the lunar influence, we know that the moon is in Taurus, which is an earth sign, and the pentacles are earth symbols. So here we have it. Something is off with our foundation. While we may have felt really confident on Friday, perhaps on Saturday, something has come up. When we look at the obvious by looking at this, the money's going down. There's a loss of money. Some sense of insecurity. If we put it into the area of a relationship, very obvious. We see that maybe there's going to be a dispute over money in this relationship. There's a disagreement. Things are not on the same page, whether it could be that someone doesn't agree with the spending, something is not happy in this relationship, but it has to do with that stability. And it's not stable when it comes to the values and a financial situation that's compromising this relationship. When we look at career and we zoom in that aspect, it could be that on Saturday, there may be, for some of you, the collective group that this is drawing from, having a situation where you are looking at, maybe you found out that your company's downsizing and you are feeling like, hey, I got the news and how am I going to deal with this in the future? My company's doing layoffs. Or it could be that if this is your company, you have to close down shop because of the different factors of the economy, things that are not lining up for you, that is not making this business opportunity viable for you. So when it comes to finances, again, it feels like somebody just opened up the chest and put it upside down and it's just dropping it, and it's not dropping in your pocket. And so it could be that maybe you have overstretched yourself, could be that you are taking on expenses that you have no way of being able to pay off, or it could be that you have a debt that is now overdue and they're knocking on the door. So it could be a lot of little things here, but the obvious here, this card here, come Saturday, the situation here is rather stressful when it comes to finances, and it could mean that it is time to look at this situation from a real down-to-earth perspective and looking at ways where you can, shrink your expenses while still not compromising too much of your lifestyle. We are definitely spoiled. We are so spoiled. This may be a wake-up call to take a look at your lifestyle and to live authentic, to live within your means. It doesn't mean that you should not pursue higher means, but it's also to be authentic and true to yourself. You don't live a pretend world for others. Live in the best way possible where you can sleep at night knowing that tomorrow you'll wake up to pursue whatever it is you want, but not because anyone is coming in to take something from you because you owe them. Okay? Let's look at Sunday. Well, we talk about transformation. The death card is the most obvious. A lot of people saying, oh, there's going to be someone dying. That's usually dying of old ways, dying of old habits, dying of the old self that sometimes we want to hold on to. But it's interesting because look at the major cards are all right side up. It's like this week is a very strong week, determining a kickoff into a strong year of transformation. Definitely how we end January is going to be awesome, even though this card is here asking us for transformation. With the number 13, which we have the base number, 1 plus 3 is 4, and we saw the 4 on Friday with the Emperor. Again, that part of foundations, and that's why we don't want to have fake things. So the death card showing up after the Emperor and after this chaos thing that's shaking up our world, asking us to be authentic, to be ready, to get rid of pretentiousness, to get rid of things that don't mean anything to us so that we can transform. There's going to be Sunday is going to find you in a place where you need to really settle in and look at what your life is and what you want it to be. Interpreting the number 4 for what it is and organizing yourself. It's asking you to be pragmatic, to trust this process, to be okay that there are some things you will need to achieve through hard work and through strong values and uncovering your authentic self and allowing yourself to be strong in your passion and convictions, but not to be living in a world that is just demanding so much of you. And a reminder that in its best part is to have the discipline to move forward and progress in the aspect of evolving yourself and being okay with letting go of things that bind you, that don't serve the highest values that you'd like to espouse. The number 13 really is a blessing in disguise. It is showing you that your life has journeyed you through here with a lot of karmic lessons, and you're being reminded that, you know what, things have happened in your life. There are things that have happened at the right time, laying the groundwork for the new opportunities that will be showing up in your life. Well, there you have it. That is what our week is going to look like. And you know what? I'm ready. Are you? All right, let's move on to our next section, angels and demons. Let's see what we're going to be working with. Which energy will we flow into? It'll be interesting what you will pick. Okay, angels and demons. What will be our pleasures and what will be our temptations? Angels and demons. Well, the Ace of Pentacles, and it is in reverse. Interesting. There's like flower of life here with a star in the middle. We have here the earth sign. We have what it appears to be ivy around it. So we talked about the number one. Number one has vibrations of new beginnings, uniqueness, positivity, the force moving forward. And so we see this here. What's this energy happening? And through the angels, what are we being told here through the Ace of Pentacles? Sometimes we're pushing too hard on things that may require and demand much more of us. The angels may be warning you that the opportunities that are going to be showing up are not the ones for you to jump in. Financially, it could be catastrophic. This may not be the time for you to make that investment. There's going to be a lot of different little opportunities that are going to show up. You have to do the research. Don't jump in right away. It's not that they're saying don't do it. They're saying give yourself the upper hand and to do your own research before you jump in making any rushed decisions. This is not the time to do it. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, that might be the time. But this moment, this week, is not the time for you to be rushing into any investment, any contracts, anything that may require you to make a change in your financial situation, whether it's investing or getting yourself into a bigger bind because you think that this is the right time to jump in. It is not. It is cautioning you against that. And possibly when it comes to making career moves, it is very important that you not make any career move based on the money aspect. You need to really think about your health. You need to think about the purpose and your why. And if money is the reason why, it may not be the strongest reason yet. So if you strip away the money aspect of life, why would you take that job? And that might be the way to approach the job opportunities that show up. So the angels are asking you to be very cautious with anything involving money in its aspect, whether it's contracts or career or work. Be very, very careful. Let's see what the demons are saying. Whoa, the Emperor upside down. This is interesting, where the Emperor during the week was sitting tall. This Emperor is upside down. And even his crystal ball is going to fall from his hand when it is in this form, and the sun is not rising, so he doesn't have the light and the guidance. And the temptation may be that it is much easier to continue living in a state of delusion. Remember, the Death card came after the Emperor, after this chaos thing here. And the temptation would be, well, why? Why should we go into for this transformation? Why do we need to, let go of these things? Sometimes it is hard to let go of a certain lifestyle. It is hard to let go of bad habits. It is hard to make the adjustments financially, to double down and to really set that foundation. Right now, it's just a temptation is to have an illusion of what you have. But how long can you play that game? So it'll be interesting. Here, you're being warned about investing on things that are not real, putting yourself into a career just for the sake of money, and then at the cost of your health, possibly. And here's the temptation to continue to live that lifestyle because it's the only thing you know how to do. But if you focus and you really take the time and you really double down, you might find out that you're much stronger than you make yourself to be, and that you may be ready for this transformation, this part of this evolution. It is the next progress. And if you believe that we come here to learn lessons, why wait? Get it over with. Take yourself there now. Do what you've got to do. Do the hard work now. You're going to wish that you would have done it earlier. Well, there you have it. Angels and demons. It will be interesting how you're going to play this game. And now let's get to the elements of the zodiac. This way we can at least address each one of us signs, right? We will start with our fire signs, our water signs, our earth signs, and our air signs. Our fire signs, Sagittarians, Leo, and Aries. Well, the Three of Wands. Interesting because we do have the element of 3 showed up here with both the Knight and the World. What is it that our fire signs are going to be considering? As we could see, this person is considering the future, standing in between a couple choices that might be showing up for you during this week and contemplating which one you're going to take up. You feel that everything that you have is placed pretty good and grounded, and that you feel very comfortable where you find yourself now in your life. You've made a couple achievements, you've reached certain goals, and now you're ready for a new adventure. So this week you may find yourself thinking about either traveling or starting up a new project or a new career, or maybe going back for some more skill development, whether it's through academics or specialized training. But definitely you are ready for a new adventure, because the number 3 implies growth, and I don't expect anything else from our fire signs, our Sagittarians, our Leos, and our Aries. This fire is inside of them and always eager for the next. What is comforting about this card for our fire signs is that within you there is a sense of control. There is a sense that you are okay to undertake whatever is before you. You have the sense of ready for this adventure. While we see this growth and this expansion, it's not going to happen with you sitting around. You've got to initiate something, whether it's mental force or physical force. It will require for you to step up and show up. And so you are ready for this opportunity now. So I'm eager to see that there's movement on the horizon for our fire signs. Let's take a look at our water signs. We have Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. We have here what? Let's put it right side up. We see the number 7. We see a person here carrying 5 swords. 2 is stuck in the ground. And what is going on? With the number 7 being in the reverse, let's go and understand the vibration of number 7 relates to collective consciousness, spiritual awakening, our intuition. Lucky 7, the number of fortune and luck, and also the ability to bear hardships. But what's going on here, because it is upside down, being that we're seeing swords here, it's in the family of air. Could this be that this week we may be dealing with things that are a little bit out of our control? Maybe we're making up some of the drama in our minds, and so we're exaggerating the situation. Could it be that we may need to look at how we're going to approach the situation ahead of us, and are we ready for a drastic change of our whole way of existing, our lifestyle, our way of thinking, our health? Are we ready for this kind of renewed thinking, this renewed consciousness? It seems that according to what we see here, the water signs are the most ready for this transition. And it could be that on Thursday, because this is a water sign, it could be on Thursday, might be a favorable day for our water signs, as we may feel that we're going to be able to talk with someone that's going to help us unburden our situation, and literally unburden things by looking at our finances and what we may need to restructure so that we can move forward. So it looks like Our water signs are definitely the ones that, even though this is in reverse, it looks like there's going to be a decision made on how to proceed with the situations that are showing up during the week. And it's going to, you're going to be kind of, what can I say, enlightened. You're going to be feeling better moving forward with what you're going to do. Let's take a look now at our earth signs. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Interesting week ahead. And with this beautiful number 11. Now, what's interesting for my earth signs is that the number 11 is one of those numbers with a high vibration. They're called master numbers. And it's about spiritual awakening, enlightenment, your soul mission, your life purpose. So we'll see that over here this week we had 3 major arcanas. And for our earth signs, it looks like we are looking to find balance, and we're ready to make this decision, the sword of intellect and wisdom. We're holding the scale of balance here. We're ready for balance in our lives because we want to connect with our mission, our life purpose. We are ready to make some major changes that are going to bring balance to our life, because it seems that for a while some of the earth signs have been ready for this moment. And I'm looking at it, and these other major cards are popping up, considering that this also is a major card, that if you are going through a challenge, I pray that you're going to come through it in shining colors, because the way to address things is not by hiding, but really by facing it on and looking in your mind that you can come through it. You've come past many obstacles in the past, and you look where you're at. While there is no doubt, while you were facing those trials and tribulations and you felt that you were alone, you see that it was well worth it because it has made you so strong. So I could see here for my earth signs that what is showing up for you may not be the most favorable for you, but you are ready. You have the strength and the courage, because what you want is far more greater than what you've been through. And you are okay because you feel inside your heart that it will bring the balance that you need, and that you have the wisdom to move forward in whatever direction this new chance and change will give you. Okay, let's now take a look at our air signs. Our air signs, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Here we can see this man here holding on to 4 pentacles, tight as best as he can, and kind of showing that, where you're at financially, and the things that you've acquired, whether it's wisdom, whether it's physical things, you have earned them. You are okay, and you're very conservative about things. You do not want to lose what you've gained. And so for you, this is really right now being very protective of what you have and what you have managed to accumulate through your hard efforts. And so overall, what we see here is someone that is not ready to give up what they have acquired. And what's important also, that in relationship, not to be so possessive when it comes to love, could be very stingy with their affections, and that may cause problems in the relationship. That sense of ownership and trying to be possessive of that other person can be suffocating that person, and it could be very unhealthy for the relationship if there isn't any sense that the person can breathe around you. And in addition, it could be in this relationship that you're holding on to the past, and by holding on to those past memories about this relationship, you might be losing on the fact that you and this person are also growing, and something may happen real soon that you're going to wake up and they're going to look like someone else, because you have been holding on to the past, to their past, to how things used to be, that you are not willing to see how things are now. And when it comes to work and career, there's a sense of it's mine, like maybe you have some information that you feel like you don't want to disclose, or if you're working with others, you don't want to openly collaborate because you feel like you're not going to get the credit for your part. And at the end of the day, you got to let go a little bit, because once we're gone, we're gone. Live today as if it were your last. Wouldn't you want your legacy to be one of collaboration and of giving? And finally, let's take a look again here when it comes to money. Our air signs right now, it's a sign that it's time to pull back, to be very frugal, to count all your pennies, to hold on to things so that you can create that foundation for the future. But in general, when we take a look at this energy that is showing up, and as I look at the week, I could tell you that when it comes to angels and demons, it could possibly be that the ones that are going to struggle the most are going to be the Libras, wanting to maintain that old lifestyle and not wanting to move with the times and to evolve forward. So it'll be really interesting how this is going to play out. Okay, let's move on now and see what will be revealed. We will now move on to the numerology portion of our reading this week. We'll see what the vibration will be. 11. So we will look at the different aspects of this number as we move through the week, and then we'll look at the main number. So in the body of this message, we have the 6 and the 5. Number 6 represents unconditional love, represents family, represents that harmony, the balance, also parenting, and that aspect of self-sacrifice. So there's a lot of issues that we see as we're moving to this number 6. So it could be that the first part of this week is going to be matters that require us to have empathy, to express that unconditional love. Also could be matters that are related to family, parenting, responsibility. So this part of this is showing up. Now let's take a look at 5 as we move towards the latter part of the week. The number 5 resonates with freedom, unconventionality, individualism, life lessons, and we see especially here on Friday and on Sunday 2 of the major arcana cards. So life lessons, some of the situations that are popping up are about life lessons, and it is confirmed here with that number 5. Also, the number 5 resonates with vibrations of resourcefulness and understanding, life choices and decisions. All of this is about that aspect of freedom, growth, having the courage to do that, and also making those big life decisions and choices that have to do with life lessons and change. Now let's bring this in as a whole number, and as that symbolizes illumination, intuition, inspiration, that soul mission and life purpose, and almost challenging us as we close out. Almost, this is pretty much the last week of the month of January, the beginning yet the end, which is supposed to kind of set the tone for the year for us. But as we close out this month, helping us set that platform for the rest of the year, to stay on course, to stay with our life purpose, to stay with our soul mission. And remember angels and demons, remember that, which was asking, are we going to continue with the old, or are we going to move forward with making the changes that are necessary, which is a lot of the underlying theme regarding some of the situations we see here. And as I mentioned before, 3 of our zodiac, of our elements, are going to be able to move through with this decision easily, yet there's going to be one that might be struggling a little bit more than the other. So very interesting. 2 of these are going to be able to embrace some of the situations here. One's going to be able to get through it, and one's going to struggle. So with that number 11, this is a message here as we move through. This vibration is to pay close attention to your thoughts, to your ideas, because these are revealing answers to you as you are living through your day. And if you take a moment to observe your head talk, you're going to be able to find out which direction you yourself are moving. So make sure that you engage in positive thinking, engage in positive affirmation, and engage the situations that happen this week as the cup is half full rather than half empty. It's about seeing what is working for you, seeing the potential of what else could you put in that cup. You have the chance to fill it with pureness and goodness. So the number 11 is about challenging yourself to continue to evolve your spiritual self, to connect with your goals and your aspirations and align these goals with your life purpose and your soul mission. Since the number 11 is a master number, it's a reminder that while you may not think that you are not affecting or effecting people and things in your life, there is always someone looking. And as you show up for life and choose that path that takes you to the highest version of yourself, it may be challenging, sometimes it may be lonely, but you know what? You're inspiring others to have the courage to follow their dreams as well. Oh, isn't that funny? Look at that, where I landed it on Judgment. Number 11. Wow, no coincidence there. No coincidence there. Okay, we are now going to go to our next section, which is the subscribers community question. If you would like a mini reading here on the channel, all you need to do is submit it right here on this post, or if you would like, go to the about section of our page here on YouTube and you'll find my personal webpage there. You could send me a personal message like that, or you can find me on Facebook and send it to me through Messenger if you would like it to be private. I will present the question as a collective question, and I will message you and let you know, hey, I am addressing your question now, okay? So the question for this week is, are there issues from the past that are still affecting the happiness of my family? So there may be others feeling this like you, and hopefully they will get answers to this, or something will resonate and give them clarity. Okay? And there we have it. Justice. We had the justice here. That number 11 is coming back. And here we have this question here. And then, holy cow, we've got a lot. So, are there issues from the past that are still affecting the happiness of my family? With the justice upside down, it could be that some of the things that have happened, you're unwilling to accept those consequences from those things of the past. And there are some issues that still have not been healed. And there's could be a lot of guilt that is still running in from the past. So the question that we're asking is, are there issues from the past? The things that are haunting are the thoughts of the past. The thing that to be aware is that these actions are in the past. Your future depends on the actions of today. And we see that the scale is there. How are these future actions of today? Will the actions of today keep the balance of the scale? So, can you make up for the things that have gone wrong in the past? And what is it that you can do to change and stop judging yourself? There's something about a guilt that is something that happened and you're still carrying this guilt. Now, 3 things are affecting this. So, in answer to that, it could be that, are there issues? The issues are all mental. It is you're carrying guilt from the past that's stopping or affecting this happiness of the family. It could be a blame game. Somebody here is carrying a burden from things that have happened in the past, and that is a perceived thing that is blocking the happiness of the family. So let's take a look at what these issues are. We have the 7 of Swords, and I feel that we saw the 7 of, the 7 of Swords had shown up earlier here, and all 2 of these are in reverse. So we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. We'll get to that in a minute. We have the Page of Swords, so we have 2 swords. Interesting, because that is really interesting. And then we have the Devil. The Devil showed up. So how do you overcome this guilt situation? And with the Seven of Swords here, it's talking about changing your mindset. Remember, the swords represent anything of the mind, of intellect, intelligence, knowledge, information. So what is it that you're holding and keeping in your mind? Maybe what is required is that you've got to change how you're approaching the situation. You've got to change how you're thinking about this situation. And if you're currently feeding it and keeping it in the loop, then you are not healing. You are continuing the story, and you're creating karma for the future. Question is, how is this feeding you, and how is it pleasing you to keep it current? And what would you want to replace it with? Is this narrative something that for some unknown reason giving you power, or are you feeding from this guilt, or are you the one that's guilting someone in this family about something that they did in the past, or are you the one who's carrying this guilt all along, and this is not helping you? And apparently, because of how this person is walking away with something, it seems that this situation that happened in the past had to do with somebody breaking their trust, some promises or something happened, and there's a strong desire at this juncture to try to bring some justice, but you're feeling that this is not the case, and the guilt is so heavy, you're still carrying it with you. But the way to move forward is that you've got to change your thinking. Then we have the Page of Swords, and again we have this upside down, where we see a person standing there with a sword, looking towards the past but wanting justice in the future. The same sword here that happens to be looking towards the future, but it's upside down because things are not balanced. You can't go forward because things are not balanced. When you look at it upside down, you want justice, but there's no balance in the past. How do you fix the past? And on the reverse, you have this young person here wants to bring justice to the past and look towards the future. So how do we do that? That's part of the conundrum that you're facing here. And there is an issue, but it has to do with the way that this narrative is being continued. And as long as you keep bringing it up, you're going to keep feeding it, you're keeping watering it, you're keeping it alive. And this person can be very toxic, that keeps bringing this pain up over and over again. The reason why they keep doing this is because they're manipulating this family unit. They feel like they've got a hold by bringing and keeping this narrative going. And the thing is that as we see it represented by a page, this person lacks the maturity. They haven't the maturity to understand all the pain that is being caused by this action, by the words, by the manipulation. And confirmed here with the Devil card. Clearly here at the Devil, we see two people with free hands that can lift these chains right over their heads, and there's nothing really holding this chain down. I mean, they can literally walk away from this. So there is a game being played here, and we look at this is the number 15. The number 15, when you bring it down to its basic number, is the number 6. It's the number of unconditional love. So where did we see this before, this unconditional love? I remember it was said here somewhere, the need for that unconditional love. Oh, from the past. Here, that was that number 6 when we did the number. So there's something from the past here, and something that needs to be worked out. Another thing to note here is the number itself, the number 15, has the numbers of 1 and 5. So we have the number 1, which represents those new beginnings and that assertiveness when you start stuff. And then the number 5, which relates to, we talked about the number 5 here, which was here. So it's interesting that the number 6, which is 1 plus 5 is 6, is here, and then the number 5 is here. The number 5, which radiates with the vibration of change, adaptability. And so you're wanting to do things your own way. And there's a lot of creativity and independence here, but there's a sense of having this captured in here and wanting to manipulate this and using the past about something that happened. Someone cheated, someone lied, someone stole, someone did something that has broken that trust, and at this current moment they're not mature enough to see how much pain they're causing by keeping this narrative going, because they're enjoying the manipulation, but yet they have enough to know that they're manipulating people. It's up to the people to decide not to play the game anymore, and they're being like puppeted by this person. The question, how do you stop that? You know, I mean, are there issues? Yes, and it's evident here, and these issues are being kept alive by the manipulation that's happening. So what would be the outcome? We know what the solution would be that the players have to stop playing the game. Once you stop playing the game's over. So what would be that outcome here moving forward? The 5 of Wands. So the 5 is a theme showing up again. And so obviously to be willing to face what's going to come by dealing with this issue, which is, yes, there's going to be some disagreements, there's going to be some conflict, because once it's brought up and once you've engaged in, put light onto that, there are some people that are not going to be happy that they've been called out on this. And to agree that the past is no longer here. It's done with. It's who we're becoming in the present moment. The desire for that freedom. Remember, the 5 is about freedom. And so this here is to fight for that freedom, no matter if there's going to be a disagreement here. And so as we look at this, we have the answer. Yes, that is there. And how these are being played out, well, you would know exactly what that is. I've been able to draw some of the interpretations that I'm feeling right now that's coming to me. Which one of these I don't know if it was someone that lied, someone that cheated, someone that stole, but it is something that was very painful. The thing is that it is in the past, and carrying that baggage is not healthy. And if somebody's reminding you and opening up that baggage, you have to ask yourself why. And then you have to ask yourself, why is this person doing this to me? And why? And then the second question is, why am I allowing this person to do this to me? And the third question is, how long am I going to take this? The way out of that is being able to answer those questions and find out honestly what is your role in accepting part of that. And then once that part is cleared in your heart, is understanding what I see here is that this is a conflict in this unit, in this group, in this situation. And it involves communication. And we saw the 5 here with that star. The 5 is repeated here. Part of that is understanding that the way out is going to be through communicating what you want. Because here we see confrontation, and it seems that nobody really wants to give in. Maybe nobody wants to listen. Maybe everyone wants to talk, but nobody wants to listen. They only want to be heard, but they don't want to listen. All they want to do is argue. And the way to resolve this, as you can see here, one person is cutting through. So someone, might be you, might need to initiate this communication in such a way that everyone can feel like they're heard. Not about blaming, not about pointing fingers, but having this conversation in a way that can address this matter, and in a way that everyone can be heard and everyone can feel like they said their part, and in a way it's all out, it breathed, and we can move forward. And it may be tough, but you may even have to get a counselor or some professional to help you with this if you feel like you can't get this done. But this is a card here telling you that you must have the courage to move forward so that you can heal your past by dealing with this effectively and not keeping it buried anymore. Okay. Well, that's very interesting indeed. Wow, wow, wow. I'm going to send you lots of love and such lots of light that this matter can be put to rest so that everyone can be free and can move on to their next step of this, what I see a lot of karmic cards here, of their evolution. You could see that this is free choice. Free choice. Let's move on now to the 1 minute of peaceful reflection, where I invite you to just 1 minute that you can dedicate for yourself of silence, where you can watch your own thoughts, where you can observe your breath, where you can really sense the space around you. It may be the only 60 seconds that you will have for yourself today. And you can come back to this video and we can be together again doing this, bringing ourselves to this present moment, to the only moment that ever is and ever was, which is now. So what I'll do is I will ring the bell once when we start our minute, and in this minute I invite you to observe your breath and to sit in this space, honor that, honor yourself. And then when you hear the bell the second time, that it means that our minute is up, and then we'll go into our affirmation. So with that, I'll go ahead and ring the bell, and I invite you to a minute of reflection with me. All right. Well, I do hope that this helps you, gives you a chance to feel refreshed and ready to take on whatever this day has for you. And now we will close out with our affirmation. I'll say it first time so that you can hear it, and then the second time I've suggested you go ahead and say it out loud with me. All right? I choose wisely what I will focus on today. I choose wisely what I will focus on today. All right, my dear ones, hopefully you have had a wonderful time with me. I have had a wonderful time putting this together for you in the hopes that it will bring you a little levity, if anything, give you a new perspective into something that you were thinking about and lighten up your load a little bit in your mind. All right, and if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. That way you'll get notified when I put up my next video. And do share this with your friends. And I am going to wish you a great week ahead. And until the next time, be blessed.